Boxboy plus Boxgirl, the game where the title is an equation we never get the answer to. And yes, the answer is supposed to be the Qbabies. Okay, maybe it was a good thing they didn't say the answer. Now, when this game got announced, I don't think anyone was expecting it. After all, the last game name was Bye Bye Boxboy, signifying that he was leaving. Which, I mean, I guess you could use the excuse that the game title just meant that he was leaving the 3DS and not leaving forever. However, I don't think the creators were actually thinking that while creating Bye Bye Boxboy. Now, I haven't played any of the previous games in the Boxboy franchise, which could give this game an advantage, as I may praise the game for something cool it did, when in actuality it was done in the previous games, making the feat yes original. But oh well, who cares about actually reviewing a game based on its original feats instead of reviewing it based on things you may think was original but is actually quite unoriginal, as it's just based on concepts of previous games. Okay, maybe people should care. The game begins with a basic tutorial world, teaching you the basics on how to play the game. After that, you come out the door which holds the level and meet with your family before meteorites begin to hit the ground, splitting up the Boxboy cast. It is your job to find the cast and bring them back together. That is the starting premise of the story, and the story does become more interesting later on, which is something you don't often see in puzzle games, as they're, well, puzzle games. So that's a positive, and even though to begin with the story isn't too interesting, it serves the purpose, which is to give you a goal. Now, if you have not played Boxboy, the main gimmick of the game is that you're able to create boxes, and you use those boxes in their most basic form to create platforms. However, after the first world, they become much more creative, giving each world a specific gimmick that relates to your box powers. By doing this, they can slowly build up the gimmick through each world's levels, adding complexity and variety to how each level uses the gimmick. And after a while, they will begin to add gimmicks from previous worlds, acting as a secondary mechanic to the world's main gimmick. By doing this, they are able to expand previous worlds' mechanics even further and can create some very interesting levels. However, whilst I can remember each world's mechanic, I cannot remember too much about specific levels. I understand that this could be a problem for some, as they may like each of their levels to be easily memorable. However, I don't see it as much of a problem, as the level design is still very good, and it's just a puzzle game, and I don't think puzzle games are really expected to have memorable levels. Because if that was the case, then why don't we see videos like top 10 levels in Tetris? Number 10, level 1. It's a very basic level, just a slow introduction so you can ease into the game and so new players can still have fun and get used to how the game plays before clearing enough yarn to get onto level 2. Number 9, level 20. Too fast. Like seriously, are your puzzle games just increasing difficulty with maybe a few gimmicks in levels? But I guess Boxboy is a puzzle platformer and not just a puzzle game, so I can understand if someone complaining about that. However, I don't see it as too much of a problem. And whilst I may not be able to tell you the difference between 6-2 or 6-6, I can tell you that World 6 was the world with laser beams, so it does have memorable worlds going for it. Also, as you go along the main adventure, you will be able to awaken some of Boxboy's lost friends, and by doing this, they help you out by teaching you a technique such as the up hook and the ground pound, which allows the stages to become even more complex, as puzzles can then also be designed around these movement options. And you keep learning these techniques close to the end of the main adventure, so it never becomes too boring to play. Each stage also has at least 1 crown and 3 medals you can collect, and you can collect the 3 medals from only using a certain amount of boxes. The crowns add extra difficulty to the game, as you have to go out of your way to do something complex rather than the usual way to get past the puzzle in order to collect the crown, all while still trying to use as little boxes as possible so you can collect the 3 medals at the end. And while I did not go for S rank on every stage, I did collect all the crowns and medals on the Tell for 1 main adventure, and while some puzzles did confuse me for quite a while trying to figure out how to get the crowns and medals, I wouldn't say it ever got too difficult. Yeah, some puzzles may have occasionally took me minutes in order to do, and you may have to sometimes think outside the box. Yeah, I probably deserved that. However, it was never too frustrating, as I never had to quit out of frustration. Even if I did have to take a break, that was more just to have a break and for no other reason. And the satisfaction you get from being able to do it is very rewarding in and of itself. Also, I thought I'll just mention the graphics, because as you can see they are very simplistic but also very charming and cute. And what do you know? The game was developed by HAL, who also develops the Qbby games, another series that often also uses simplistic designs to its advantage to create very cute and charming characters. Most of the time, anyway. So yeah, just thought I would point it out because this game is very cute and I have no idea how to transition on to the next topic. So anyhow, after you've awakened a bunch of the characters, more meteorites suddenly start hitting the ground and then the spaceship picks them up? Is this something established in the previous games? Signify of resets to keep your of Boxboy? Anyhow, you get sucked up into the spaceship and meet another Qbby, but suddenly, through a telecom, you see that the thing sending down all these meteorites is a purple cloud thing that sends out a massive asteroid towards their home planet. Boxboy and Boxgirl make the decision to be sent into the asteroid and say their goodbyes before being shot out into it. In the asteroid, they find a machine with a hole in it and Boxgirl puts herself in the hole and the machine sucks away her life energy. Jeez, I don't think I could have made this sound any more sexual. The machine takes away her life energy, leaving her as an inactive grey block, and using her life energy, the machine is able to put a crack in the asteroid. You also meet this character who helps you by activating another machine, putting another dent in the asteroid. Finally, Boxboy is by himself and a wall of darkness begins to case him and eventually engulfs him, turning him black, but Boxboy is just able to reach the machine and plops himself in. However, the machine requires 2 boxes to activate it, and due to Boxboy being the only one left, he is not able to activate it. This yeeks the asteroid hitting Boxboy's planet and him being thrown out onto the ground, yay, and there being inactive whilst his planet is being destroyed. A to be continued sign pops up, conjugating Boxboy plus Boxgirl on a rather somber and unexpected note. But then there's Qbby. After completing a Tell for One, the main adventure mode, you unlock a new mode called a Young Tell where you play as Qbby, seemingly taking place while Qbby is on the asteroid. Your mission is to complete levels in order to activate machines that shrinks the size of the purple mist that was produced in the asteroids. But then you get sucked into another spaceship. Is this a reoccurring event in the Boxboy universe? Anyway, you go into the spaceship and then you go into the purple mist and try to destroy it from the inside. You attempt to do this, but then you get sucked into a wormhole and you use your piece you just obtained to teleport out of there, but then you get teleported into space where you're just left there floating, and then you get sucked back into the Qbby ship, ending Qbby's adventure. Qbby plays differently from Qbby. Unlike Qbby, who creates normal square-sized boxes, Qbby can either create long or wide boxes depending if you're sitting up straight or sitting sideways, which is using a variety of puzzles along with the skills you obtain from other characters to create some quite complex challenges. Now, I thought that this was just going to be a short bonus mode, when in actuality there's a lot more to this mode than I anticipated. There's also a multiplayer mode, which unlike games such as New Super Mario Bros. U, where the level design is exactly the same as if you played it in single player, Boxboy's multiplayer levels are completely new. Of course they use the same level mechanics as single player mode, but the level design is original to accommodate for 2 players. As most single player levels in this game just wouldn't work in multiplayer, so they had to make original levels in 2 player mode that were designed with multiplayer in mind. However, if you are lonely, such as myself, then you can play these levels without someone else, where you can switch between Qbby and QC and control them separately. This works fine enough, however it quickly becomes very monotonous to switch between the 2 characters, especially when characters don't teleport if the other moves far away, which is fine if you're playing with someone else. However, if you're just playing by yourself, then you need to constantly switch between the characters so you don't accidentally leave the other behind. And they don't have something like the totem mechanic in Triforce Heroes, so you can't pick up the other characters and move them around so you don't leave them, making this task become very tedious. It just wasn't very interesting, and due to how I played the game, not in short cycles like how puzzle games are intended to be played, I was already somewhat fatigued after beating the single player mode, so the added monotony that multiplayer mode brings makes me not want to play it currently. This meant, however, that I did not realise the true ending even existed until editing. You get this ending after beating every mode and then playing the final single player level again. In this ending, the 4 medals you collect from each mode, one from a Tell for One, another from a Tool Tell, and 2 from a Tell to 2, fills in the other gap, exploding the asteroid so it does not crash into Qbby's world, leading to a happy ending. Overall, this game obviously isn't revolutionary, it isn't a masterpiece, it isn't going to be Game of the Year, however it isn't trying to be. It's just supposed to be a charming puzzle adventure that anyone can pick up and play a level or 2, and this game works perfectly on the Switch with it just being a portable console hybrid. You're just supposed to be able to pick up the game and spend half an hour on it and have a fun time. It's not supposed to be a game where you have to sit down and play for long periods of time, like I ended up doing. And it accomplishes what it attempts to do. For less than £10, I recommend this game highly if you're into puzzle games or just someone who doesn't always have time to sit down and play a game and just wants something to keep them entertained for a while. It isn't a masterpiece, but it is one of the most charming and relaxing games released this year, most of the time anyway. Damn it, I was one box off!